morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you're listening. I appreciate you. Coach Wood here. Let's get into a boxing talent tier list. I just figure I'd throw my opinions out there so you know where I stand now. This is a boxing talent, basically just what I see on the film. This isn't to say one guy in one tier is gonna beat the other, or one guy in a lower tier can't beat a top tier guy. This is just a talent list based on what I see on the film. All of these guys are talented. All of these guys are warriors. This is not to discredit anybody. This is just me watching the film and breaking down what I see. Let's get into it. You can see the different tiers here I have. So clearly there's the unfuckwittable tier. These are the top tier talents, the S tiers, the elite guys in my opinion. These are the guys that are special to me. These are the guys that I see far above the rest. These are the guys that I don't see as normal, as like a regular talent kind of guy. These are the guys far and away better than everyone else in my opinion. Then you got the great talent, the guys that are really good at what they do. They're really talented, and they're just a notch under those special guys. Under that, we have a good talent, guys who are very good maybe in particular areas. They're very elite in some parts, but maybe not all parts. Not to say they can't be the great or unfuckwittable guy, but they just aren't on the same level as some of the other guys in what I see on the film. And then we got the talented, but these are the talented guys, but they have a lot of question marks, or they just show inconsistencies, or they're just not proven as much as some of the other guys based on what I see on the film. Not accomplishments, not anything crazy, not sparring videos, just based on what I see on the film and watching their fights. So let's get into it. Okay, first up we have Daniel Dubois. Now Daniel Dubois is a good competitor. I've seen a lot of his fights. He does have some inconsistencies. I question his heart at times, as a lot of people have. He seems to have quit on a couple fights, but still a talented guy, still one of the more prominent heavyweights. So for me, he's going to go into the good talent tier list. Next, we're going to Robeisy Ramirez. Good guy, took a loss early in his career, bounced back great, has showed improvement over his last couple fights. Took a L, but then he bounced back again in his latest fight. So I like him, but I'm not sure I can put him in the great talent spot yet. I think I'm going to have to put him in the good talent, but he can definitely inch up to that great talent. He's right there. Now, Shushu Carrington. Based on what I've seen from him, I think he's on his way to being unfuckwittable in my opinion. He has shown great poise, great professionalism, great power. He's shown everything you need to see in a young prospect. For me, Shushu Carrington is going in the great talent tier list. Okay, Ray Savage, Raymond Ford. Another guy, Camden guy, very talented guy. Just lost to Nick Ball in a tough fight. I thought it could have been a draw, honestly. But he is a great talent. He's had some tough fights lately, and he's come through with flying colors, in my opinion. Can't really say much about anything he does wrong. I got to put him in the great talent tier list. Okay, Frank Martin. Frank Martin, the guy that I've seen coming up, he really showed out against Michel Rivera. I think that was the fight that really put everyone on notice with him. Talented guy, great southpaw. Just lost to Tank, but it's Tank. You lose to a one-of-one, that's going to happen. Not really much of a knock on that. For me, he's right there, but I'm going to put him in the good talent tier list. Floyd Schofield. Another up-and-comer, has had a lot of good showings, but to me he has showed some inconsistencies. He's calling a lot of guys out. I think he should get some better fights soon. For me, there are a lot of question marks with him. I've seen some inconsistent fights from him, so for me, he's going to be talented, but has question marks. Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has all the accolades. He's been the heavyweight champ. He's beaten some good guys and also shown some inconsistencies in his fights. But you can't deny what he's done. You can't deny how he performs. For me, I would, just based on what I see on film, I would have to say good talent. All right, Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is next. All right, this is another guy right up there with Shushu and Ray, in my opinion. Showed great talent, but of course hasn't done much against top tier guys yet. Still young, still up and coming. Got to give him time, but can't quite put him in that unfuckwittable range. But he's a great talent, and I think he can get up there soon. Keyshawn Davis, a lot of the same that what I just said about Abdullah. Really good talent, has shown some dog in him, has shown he can fight different ways. Is calling a lot of the top guys out, and I think it's about time he gets some of those top guys, maybe not the top of the division, maybe not the Tiafimo or the Tank yet, but he's definitely on his way. I think he's a great talent. Next, we got Gary Antoine Russell. Just took an L, but it is what it is. He took an L against a tough opponent. I don't think he fought the right fight. He seemed pressed to get the knockout to me. Just not his best day, in my opinion. Just wasn't his best day. Other than that, he's shown a good amount of talent throughout the years. For me, I think he's a great talent. Through the amateurs all the way through his pro career so far, he's shown great talent on the film to me. All right, Stan Jonas next. I like him. He's a good fighter, but I haven't seen anything special from him. I haven't seen any special. I haven't seen anything that would pop off the screen to me. Had some trouble with Delorme, honestly. And if I was to pick a welterweight that was to lose his belt first, he probably would be on that list. So I would have to put him in talented, but. Now we got Junto Nakatani. I like this kid a lot. I've seen him coming up probably his last 5 fights. He's gotten better every fight. His last knockout of Santiago, I believe it was spectacular. He shows good defense, good poise, good punch selection, and he builds momentum and steamrolls you when it's time to get you out of there. I like him. I put him in the great talent spot. Next, we got Mario Barrios. A guy that's been around for a while, actually. He's just starting to catch fire in the welterweight division, got his belt, and now either looking to defend or get some more belts in the weight class. So we'll have to see where he goes. But from what I've seen, he's been consistently good, consistently competitive. For me, I got to put him in the good talent spot. Conor Benn, a violent fighter, a very violent fighter. I like his activity. I like his ability to go get someone. I like how he likes to put hands on people. Has shown some leaky defense at times, and also got popped for some performance-enhancing drugs, and hasn't shown the same pop since. Just went 12 with Dobson. He showed that there were chinks in that armor and that he does fade later in fights. So for me, he's talented, but I got some questions. Tim Tszyu, good fighter. I like what I've seen from him. Very tough fighter. He's a tough night for anyone. Lost to Fundora recently, but I really blame the cut for that loss. Other than that, if it wasn't for that cut, I think he would have beat Fundora quite comfortably later on in the fight. For me, he's a good talent. I haven't seen great or special from him yet. Speaking of which, now we got Sebastian Fundora. Another guy that's been good, not great. He hasn't shown anything special to me. He's been a good fighter, doesn't quite use his height as he should, but on the inside, he is exactly what his nickname suggests. He's a towering inferno. He will beat you up on the inside, and he will fight you. For me, I'll put him in the good talent tier spot. Now we got Canelo. Canelo, obviously, the face of boxing for a long time. Possibly people would say he's still the face of boxing. I got to put him in the unfuckwittable, our first unfuckwittable. He does what he does day in, day out. Every time you know a Canelo fight's coming on, people are going to watch, and you kind of know the outcome most of the time. People are saying he's, ducking Benavidez, but at this point in his career, he kind of earned the right to do whatever the hell he wants, in my opinion. So, to me, unfuckwittable tier, undeniably. And another one, we got Terrence Bud Crawford, unfuckwittable. Has shown elite talent, has shown knockout power in every weight class. Just a guy you really can't argue is top of the game, top of his division, top of the boxing world right now. He's another one that's kind of earned the right to do whatever the hell he wants. He wants to pick opponents. He wants to move up, move down. Wherever he wants to go, you kind of got to give him that leeway. He's done everything you need to do in boxing to get there. So he's unfuckwittable easily. Now we got Edgar Berlanga, another guy. Got a lot of early knockouts. Started falling for the hype. Got a big head early. But it was really top rank, kind of juicing his record. Good fighter, has shown some great improvement over the last couple fights. So for me, he's very talented, but I still have question marks. I haven't seen him go up against even really good talent yet to put him up there. And once he started facing real competition, the knockout streak ended and he showed a lot of creaks. Next, we got William Zepeda. Good fighter, very good fighter. I can't quite say I've seen great from him, and I definitely haven't seen special, but he's definitely championship caliber, and I would love to see him fight Shakur soon. And then after that fight, we can really see where he stacks up. I got to put William Zepeda in the good fighter tier. Next, we got David Morrell. David Morrell Jr. has shown he's up there. He's up there in the super middleweight division. I think it's time we get him a tough test, a big name, and I think it's time he really shows out because he's shown some great talent. I got to put him in the great talent tier list. I believe he's ready for a belt or one of those top guys. Next, we got Jared Anderson. People are saying he's the next great heavyweight from America. I hope so. I see a lot of talent here. Not sure if I see the maturity and the willingness to be that next great heavyweight. I think he wants to make as much money as he can, but I don't know if he's willing to put in as much as those guys that have become unfuckwittable. He's very talented. He's got a lot of tools, and he hasn't faced top competition yet. So we'll see what Top Rank does with him. But for now, I got to put him in the good talent tier list. Ryan Garcia. He's a talented fighter, but a head case, honestly. He needs help. That's all I can really say about him. But as far as his talent goes, you can't deny it. He's been good for a while, but he just hasn't put in the work. I believe with what I've seen on film, if he was to actually apply himself, he would be a great talent. But for what I got right now, he's a good talent that depends on that left hook and his speed. Errol Spence Jr. Long-time great fighter, long-time king of the welterweight division, has done a lot in his career, and based on what I see on film, I have to say he's been a great talent throughout his career. I believe he's on the downslope and nearing the end, and it's about time. He's been through a lot, got a lot of wear and tear from the accident to the fights, that Crawford fight. So I think he's nearing the end, but I can't deny what I've seen on film up until this point. He's a great talent. Jaron Boutennis, we just seen him fight recently. I've seen what he can do. This is another guy that's right up there with the rest of them. I think he's going to be a top guy in the face of boxing at some point. If he keeps going on this trajectory, he's going to be up there. He's unfuckwittable to me. Artur Beterbiev, light heavyweight monster. This guy is easily unfuckwittable to me. He's shown talent, power, sneaky footwork. He knows how to break guys down. He just walks to you so slowly, but he always catches up to you. It's like Michael Myers in the ring. He's just always going to catch up to you and then put you down. Next, we got Virgil Ortiz. I've seen him coming up through the ranks. Had some trouble making 47 for a while, so eventually had to move up to 54, but has been a wrecking ball in both weight classes. I would say he has a basic style, but it's hella effective. It's hella effective. He does what he does really well, and there's no denying that he's going to be trouble for anyone he faces. I believe he's a great talent. Jaime Munguia just had his fight with Canelo not too long ago. Showed that he was willing to fight with this guy. He gave Canelo everything he had and then some. So Jaime Munguia, he's always ready for a rumble. From what I've seen, he's a good talent. Teofimo Lopez. This one's a tricky one for me because I think he's way more talented than he consistently shows. He's wishy-washy to me. Sometimes he shows pure mastery in the ring, and other times it's like, dude, what are you doing? You're better than this. I have to put him in my estimation as a great talent, but an inconsistent one. Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez is a guy that I've recently come across, and I've been nothing but impressed. So this guy is, I believe, the king of the 118s, if not yet, soon enough. This guy is ready to take that next step. He just beat Estrada in a nice, nasty knockout. Showed heart to get up off the canvas and come back and put Estrada down for the count. So I'm putting Bam Rodriguez in the great talent pool. Bivol, another one. I gotta say he's unfuckwittable. He's right up there with Beterbiev. He's done everything you need to see him do. He walks people down. He boxes. He'll dance around the ring. He even beat Canelo, another unfuckwittable guy. So we really can't deny his talent. He just needs to fight Beterbiev, and we'll see who's the king of the 175s. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, a wrecking ball. He's literally built like a 5'2" linebacker. He's going to Mike Tyson you. He's going to walk you down. He's going to run you down and throw hooks until you are not standing. I like what I've seen, but I also believe he's a one-trick pony, and he has zero jab. There's question marks with him, so I got to put him in the talented but tier list. Richardson Hitchens, talented guy. I like what I've seen. I'm afraid he might only be able to fight one way from what I've seen, especially in his last fight. He had trouble with that guy, and he's shown trouble to fight on the inside. So I have a few question marks, but not too many. I think he's very talented. I got to put him in the good talent tier list. Devin Haney, lightweight champion. Just took his first loss to Ryan Garcia. People are blaming the Ostarine, but honestly, based on what I saw, that wasn't the only issue. He showed deficiencies in his game. He wasn't right that night, in my opinion. He didn't fight how he usually fights. He didn't approach it correctly. I honestly think the moment got too big for him. Not to say he's not prepared for big fights, but I think Ryan got in his head a little bit. I think he got angry. I think he wanted to try to show Ryan who's boss, and he tried to prove a point that he didn't need to prove. Had he just fought within himself, I believe he would have been a lot more successful. I got to put him in the good talent tier list. I don't see him as being great or especially different from the other guys in this tier list, but he is very good at what he does. Shakur Stevenson, another one people claim that I hate so much. No, I just don't like how he talks for how he fights. But as a coach myself, I would love to have a fighter that fight like he does. He stays safe, he stays smart, and he gets the job done. This guy is extremely talented. I just wish he would stay off of Twitter, to be honest with you. I got to put him in the great talent tier list. Now we got David Benavidez. He just had his debut at 175. Me personally, I don't think he belongs there. He didn't show that Mexican monster up there. It was quite I won't say mediocre. It was a good performance, but it wasn't what we're used to seeing him do at 168. And as far as him challenging Beterbiev and Bivol, I think he gets smoked by either one of those guys, in my opinion. So he's a great talent. I just don't think he belongs at 75. Anthony Joshua, one of the heavyweight kings in my opinion, has been doing this for a while. Has lost his belts, come back, won belts, and his problem I think was mostly mental. I think he had a lot of doubt in himself and his coaching staffs over the time. But now that he's with Ben Davison, I believe he's looked way better. Uh, and I believe that has something to do with his talent and the coaching that he chose. So I got to put him in the great talent tier list. Vasily Lomachenko, very talented guy. Very talented guy. I think he's nearing the end as well. I think the age and the mileage is catching up to him, but what he's done throughout these years has been great. Can't really fault anything he does. His style is his style. You can't really bash it at any point. I got to give him the great talent tier list. Oh, Alexander Usyk, the king of the heavyweight division, belt holder, supposedly talking about retirement, but until then, he's on top of the game right now. So he's done his thing at heavyweight and he's gotten all the belts. So you can't really fault anything he's done. But from the tape, I see a great talent. I see a great talent. He's not quite unfuckwittable, but he's up there. Now we got Naoya Inoue. Hope I said that right. Another guy that I gotta say is unfuckwittable. He showed extreme talent, power. He's well rounded. He's got everything in his bag, and he's shown it over time. So I can't really fault anything in his game. He's up there. He's up there with the rest of them. Brian Norman Jr. Another guy that's shown some inconsistency to me. He's very good, very talented. I've seen him around. I've seen his fights. One night he's on. Next night it's like, all right, what are you doing? I don't know if that's a coaching issue. I don't know if that's just him having off nights at times, but I got to put him in the good talent tier list. I can't quite give him great. Can't quite give him great yet. But a champion nonetheless, so respect to him. And of course, we got good old Gervonta Tank Davis. Last but definitely not least, king of the 135. And possibly the face of boxing if you ask some people. Can't really deny what he's done. You can't deny who he is, and you can't deny what you see on screen. He's a pay-per-view star. He gets the job done. He gets the job done. And I would say he's unfuckwittable. So there you have it. There's my list. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? This is all subjective, and this is my boxing talent tier list. Let me know what you think.